podcast, everybody. I'm Noah. Ron and Jordan are here as well, and we're your hosts for the Shift Drunk podcast. What are we talking about tonight, boys? How you guys doing, first off?
Tired, believe it or not. We're starting a bit later than we normally do.
We are. A bit later. Usually we start this around 9:30, and it's
9:30.
Yeah. Usually we're getting off around now, so it's gonna be a little bit of a late one. So if we sound a little crazed and manic, not our
Then we're
fault.
just fitting with the theme of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I actually did get back from a shift from Culver, so I'm still feeling that high of working at Culver.
Yeah.
It's you just feel like shit afterward, but you can't sleep. So I'm gonna be up for 6 more hours.
Yeah.
Probably playing Minecraft, and I also work at noon.
That's a big oof. I work at 5 tomorrow, so that will be fun.
I'm out at 4. I'm out at 4, so I won't see you. Anyway, we should probably not talk about work too much. Jordan, what was the first topic we were talking about? Should we talk about the mail truck, or should we talk about the graphics card first?
Let's just get into just some normal stuff. Ron was looking at the new. Are these concepts or are these confirmed to be coming out?
Let's take a peek at the the article. So
Not only.
What's that?
Oh, I was just reading that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was reading out loud. Not only Oshkosh will help.
Yeah. So
Wait,
basically,
sorry, fuck.
UPS
dyslexic.
is going to partner with. I honestly haven't really heard of this company, but it's going to make the next gen. So they used to be called LLVs, which stood for long range or long life vehicles, and these ones are called new generation delivery vehicles or something like that. So
are they electric or something, or what's? Are they
let's
bulletproof?
see.
It says Oshkosh Defense.
So it will help them go electric, but it also has plans to include fuel efficient, low emission, eternal. You get the point, low emission.
So it's a
gas.
hybrid then, essentially.
Yeah, it might be a hybrid, but over time it might also just be fully electric. But yeah, I just thought it was cool because
That's pretty cool looking.
we've
Like,
had.
It makes me wonder though, if it's from a defense company, will that front window be bulletproof?
I don't think so.
I just think it's the very front of it. It kind of looks squashed. Because I think of the traditional mail truck being the boxy, and they have that almost trapezoid shaped front.
Yeah.
So it looks really funny. It looks like
gives me
someone took it in a waffle iron and just kind of smashed it down.
Yeah. Well,
And
what was I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
wait, what is that? I seen it was pointing to it. What's the satellite? Telematics compatible? What does that mean?
Wait, does it have Wi-Fi? Oh no, that's front rear bumper sensor.
Yeah, so it's got a whole bunch of tech in it too. Are you telematics?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What is it?
I'm gonna guess that's probably built-in GPS.
That's a
that could
stupid
be.
way of saying GPS.
That's a big word. Yeah.
Encompasses. Okay, so LTE. I'm assuming.
Maybe.
I think so. It's hard to tell. But
What would you use LTE for though? GPS.
Well,
exactly.
as long as there's not 5G, because that's just COVID.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
get brain damage.
No. It's autism. No. Wait, that's vaccines. What is it? What was
no,
5G?
that's
Was 5G cancer?
Uh,
Oh wait, no. Was it
was-
COVID? It probably
well,
was
it was
COVID.
I think
Cancer,
because 5G went up around the
and
time
then
that
it
COVID
was
started.
COVID. I think.
That's too funny though.
That's got to be one of my favorite conspiracy theories. At least I want to give credit to the people that are they came up with COVID so that they didn't have people interrupting them when they built 5G towers. Because at least that one sounds
That would
almost believable if you
But then it's
stretch
5G
it.
caused.
Yeah.
But then you got the people that are I got a tumor because the 5G towers. And it's
my hip is 2 centimeters wider.
my wife left me because of the 5G towers. Yeah.
My husband became a lizard man.
No, not a lizard man.
Not a lizard man. That would be sad.
Oh no.
Well, I wonder, something I've always kind of wondered, just getting with, with how much, I guess, traditional uh, automobiles are being replaced. Like you got the new Ford F-150, the new Hummer. Definitely things that you just consider to be like very. It's always has just been gas. For them to be moving to EV, do you think that owning a a car that uses gas will be just become like maybe a hobby thing? Because I know you don't necessarily there's no manual in an electric vehicle,
No.
right? You can't drive manual, and I know that's still a niche, even though
Oh yeah, some
automatics
people
have.
like the manual.
Right, Ron, don't you?
Hmm.
Don't you
Do
drive?
you
No,
drive
no,
an
no.
automatic?
I know how to drive a manual, and I want my next car to be a manual, but I
Mm.
do not drive one now.
No, so I've just wondered if, just kind of like how even though we have like automatics are prevalent in today's society, I wonder if owning a gasoline or a gas using vehicle will become
Oh, like the
equally as
Yeah.
mean.
equivalent of that.
Yeah,
See, because
Interesting.
the way I would want my future to play out, because I'm into cars and I want to keep older cars, and the way I think it probably will go is at first EVs and stuff, well, they've been incentivized, and now they're at the price point and the quality and the production that you would want for a car. The only problem is the infrastructure, which just isn't there yet. So
right.
it's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. Well, if you have infrastructure first but no cars, then you're wasting money. If you have a whole bunch of cars but no infrastructure, who's going to be able to go anywhere? Um, so that's the weird part. But once it gets to that point, and EVs are kind of the standard, I think there will probably be laws on like engine sizes and emission and stuff like that. And I would just like to be able to have like a historical car that runs on gas, and that's like allowed because you can get historical licenses already.
Yeah.
As long as that stays that way and you're able to own an older vehicle or boost it up or whatever you want to do with it, because we're still the land of the free. But
Do you think that
Well,
they'd make it illegal to drive gas cars? Is like that what you're implying, or
I
like?
mean, we have seen California get really
Yeah.
strict with like different emission laws and everything like that. Though
Mm,
I have to wonder if driving like a gas, I guess just driving like I don't know how to refer to them. Just driving a traditional car, if that becomes such a
combustion.
minor, yeah, combustion engine,
Yeah.
right? Uh, if that becomes so niche, maybe they wouldn't even have to do anything with it, right?
Yeah.
Because like if there's only like one person per thousand using a car that uses gasoline.
it might like cut the percent of like the
Well, right,
carbon
yeah, you
emissions
wouldn't
down.
you wouldn't even
So,
really need to worry about that. It's like it's just not a big deal,
Right.
kind of thing.
No, I see what
I
you're
guess
saying.
I kind of understand why they'd want to like. I wouldn't say like make gas like combustion engines illegal, because like I feel like that's like Ron said, like you can't like make the land of the free like that. Like you can't like, I don't know, something that'd get a lot of like backlash, I feel.
I think it'd
And
just be
like,
easier to incentivize owning an
Yeah.
electric vehicle.
yeah, because I feel like a lot of like car companies are gonna
Like, who
like
wouldn't
probably
wanna
phase
own
out
this, too?
combustion engines.
That's a big thing. Is
Oh,
styling and
I
features and everything. They're really good.
the car that I have has an all electric version, and I think that once my lease ends with this car, I'm probably going to buy the electric version of this because it's going to be the same price.
Where would you charge it though?
Yeah, I struggle with that too.
Okay. What I'm thinking is I have another 2 years on my lease. I'm hoping to have a house by then to where I could install a charging port. I don't think I'd buy an electric car without a place to charge it.
Yeah,
Though.
if I
Like
could
that's a
charge
good
at
point for
work,
sure.
then I would be okay with it.
I was thinking like also like if you could, and did they come with solar panels on the top of some of them? Like could you potentially charge it like
No, so
on the go?
basically,
Yeah,
I was listening to the Elon Musk and Joe Rogan podcast because they had another one, and he was Joe asked like the same thing, like why aren't there Teslas with solar panels on the roof? And basically, the amount of energy that the sun has to offer is limited. So it's not a question of the technology. It's like we know the limited power output of a surface area that the sun has. So like a square foot has so many kilowatts of energy per hour. And basically, if you were to cover an entire car, you might be able to go like 20 miles in a day. So it's
Really?
not really practical at all.
Are there not solar panels that translate that enough energy yet? Like I know, like it
No,
only
so
takes
that's what
it's
I'm
like a
saying.
percentage of the energy from the sun, right? Like
It is basically the sun has a constant output of power, so it's like a charging brick or whatever. It's rated for 5 volts or whatever. You can't. The smaller the surface area, the smaller that output is. But if you were to expand it to the size of a car per square foot or whatever, the sun just doesn't put out that much energy to do that.
What Noah's asking is if we were like, if we got to the point where solar panels, we could increase the efficiency, or are you saying like 100% efficiency, even if we somehow managed to get 100% efficiency, that they just wouldn't be a viable option?
If
Or
it
are you
was
saying with the current technology?
if it was only on the car, that's not viable because of the constant output of the sun, not really our technology. Because, like you said, if it was 100% efficient on the car alone, wouldn't really do much. It would take
Okay.
a couple days to get very small amount of energy. But if you put it on your house or whatever, I mean, Tesla does that already. That's really helpful because, like, with Texas being hit so recently, there's
we
articles.
could talk about that.
Yeah,
The
there's
windmills,
articles
actually.
about Tesla owners. They have like the Tesla grid package, and their houses were like on for an extra 48 hours or something. Tesla
For like
Oh,
what was
their
this
power,
called?
like completely right now.
Tesla grid battery Texas maybe.
So-
Tesla Powerwalls and other home battery packs proving more than useful in Texas blackouts.
We could talk about the blackouts actually. So like,
I didn't even know this was a thing actually. So what's the context for the like what's going on in Texas?
Oh, okay,
Like,
so the
how long
context
ago
for-
was this, by the way?
I want to say more than a week. So
Okay.
essentially, we got when we got hit with that big snowstorm.
Yeah.
So Texas also got hit, and they said this is like what was it? I think it's more than 160 years they have not seen a storm like this. So essentially, more like off the records because like what's that, like the 1800s? Like the records might go null before that. Like so like that could mean like Texas hasn't been hit with this kind of snow before. Like probability wise, it probably has, but like in our like
It's
last
pretty
500 years, like, yeah, it's like a very rare occurrence. And so there was did you hear about the huge 120 something, 140 something car pileup?
Yeah, that was
In Texas?
That
No.
was that was a bad
Is
one.
that what you were talking about earlier, Ron, with the 18-wheeler, or is that something
No,
else?
that was like an hour ago. The one that happened in Texas was probably a week ago now, and yeah,
the
basically
Texas one.
it was really bad.
There was videos of semi trucks just plowing into like people, just destroy like cars like just getting crushed, like decimated.
Yeah,
And like
Yeah.
it's just because they don't
Just 'cause
they
they
don't know how
can't
to prepare
stop?
for like, the snow.
Yeah.
They don't know how to drive the snow, and like it's horrible. Like it really sucks.
yeah.
Mm.
Very tragic. And also they got hit with a really big blackout. Like I don't know if it's the whole state, but I think it's all of Austin or Houston that was completely out of power. And I don't know if they still are out of power. Yeah, get the facts right on that one. But they were out of power and they were blaming the windmills for getting frozen and stopping moving, but that's not what happened
Alright,
at
well,
all.
this is current.
I watched like the last week.
Why did the blackout happen then?
So,
Because the power
a very
the,
large amount of the state's grid was using wind, and basically those turbines froze up. Now I'm not sure.
Isn't that not true though? I believe that it's also because they just didn't have like adequate support for like when power lines freeze and when other things freeze like that, because they also had other means of power. I believe that the windmills did not actually freeze completely because they're always powered on. They use a select amount of their power that they generate to keep themselves moving. It's not just the wind that keeps them moving. They can power up just enough to generate enough speed to get the momentum going, because the wind can't get like that huge piece of metal to like move by itself. So they were still moving during this snowstorm. They did not stop like blowing, if I'm not mistaken. and I believe it was actually something to do with like the coal plants going down. Now this could be like left wing, right wing propaganda. I don't know for sure, because like I've seen a lot on Facebook about people like you
Well, this
fucking
is
libtard,
from
fucking.
not
I
a
don't.
national place, but the Texas Tribune, so maybe that would be more down to earth.
Yeah, I
Than
don't
East
think
Texas.
I don't think it. I think he's saying that the wind turbines froze, like they couldn't spin, even like the power to make them spin.
If
Because
I'm
like
not
just like
mistaken, that didn't actually happen. Like
No, I saw
I'm pretty sure like
pictures.
because like even running water in waterfalls can freeze over if it gets cold enough.
right.
And if
Well, yeah, for
Texas is
sure.
getting record-breaking snow and cold,
Oh, I guess that would be like news.
I feel like a picture's not like adequate enough to show a windmill. Like
there's something at the top.
this is the article I saw, I believe.
So, Electric Reliability Council of Texas projected that 80% of the grid's winter capacity could be generated by natural gas, coal, and some nuclear power.
I think that's where I got my information from. Is I'm pretty sure that they got most of their power from the coal plants, and you can't completely blame the windmills freezing over
Yeah,
if they did
I guess they were
completely
just
freeze over.
ill-prepared.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just like what was happening is that they were ill prepared for a snowstorm.
There'd
in
also
Texas
be
because-
people like overusing. If everyone is suddenly like cranking the heater and they're not expecting
Mhm.
that. Though you gotta imagine in
gotta-
Texas they probably crank the AC all the time, so why wouldn't they? I don't know.
True, but also like
Or maybe they just didn't expand it for the winter because they don't usually need to expand for the winter because they don't.
that might be true. That might have.
No,
Like,
it just seems
all-
it just seems weird that if they have the capacity to run during the blazing Texas heat because it gets pretty hot there, not as humid as Michigan, but it also gets fairly humid,
it's arid
a lot
there.
hotter,
It's very
hotter than
arid
Michigan.
there.
It also
It's
gets a
arid
bit
and very hot.
a bit humid though in some
Some
areas.
parts, but like in like the deserty area.
Oh
It's
no,
very very arid. Yeah.
yeah, you need
I
like
remember
a
I went to Houston when I was younger.
humidifier. You know,
I went to
die.
Houston when I was younger, and I got to see like the space shit and everything, like like the really cool like NASA.
Mm-hmm.
I was young. I don't remember exactly. I think it was the Kennedy Center. I think is what it was. But
Probably.
also like it was 114 is I think the lowest I saw the entire time I was there. It was usually around 120 something, and I was sweating my balls off, man.
Mm.
I couldn't handle it. Like, I don't think I could live there. And I can see why they're not prepared for a snowstorm like this because it's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much like it's more than 60 year round there, right? Like it's usually like it doesn't hit like below
Yeah.
like 40 or 50.
Like even in like California, it doesn't usually dip too low. I mean, obviously you can go up in the mountains,
near
but
the
like
ocean, it's pretty like it can
Yeah,
get
it's a bit-
colder during like
yeah.
yeah.
um,
But,
but like yeah, Texas too. They get snow in some parts, but I think for like the most part, they're not usually.
No.
Like I'm sure I could wear shorts down there comfortably year round.
That's what I'm saying. Is like it's kind of like
So
can
I wear
understand
shorts year
kind
round
of
in
why they
Michigan
weren't
too.
prepared. Yes, you do. Kind of hot. Anyway,
You're kind of. Anyway,
What else do we want to talk about?
well, what was the other two topics? I want to stick my topic for last. I think actually, because I want to like get more into this before we start talking about stuff and lose all of our viewers.
I did want to.
The 360.
Yeah, I did want to touch on.
360.
I don't know how much you guys keep up with like the graphics card stuff. But Nvidia, kind of at least what they're publicly saying to combat crypto miners and increase stock for gamers is they're essentially reducing, I think almost 50%, around 50%, like they're reducing the hash rate by 50% or so for the 3060 cards so that miners don't buy them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they're also releasing like a new custom card for miners.
That doesn't have any output, so that its life
Right.
cycle doesn't basically make it so when the next generation of cards comes out, there's an overflooded market, which is what happened with the 2080. Because then you could just go on Facebook Marketplace and get an old mining GPU way cheaper than a newer system, and RTX really wasn't good enough then, so people didn't care.
Yeah, and that's
And no
what's
one bought them.
crazy to me is I did watch, and I'm sure anyone that keeps up with the topic probably watched Linus Tech Tips video on it. And at first I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. You know, make a completely and I had actually thought about that before. Like, why not just make a completely separate product just for miners? But then I watched Linus's video, and it's like, that kind of makes sense. He got into how a lot of times you can get a pretty good deal because most miners take care of their cards. They undervolt them, they cool them. Ron, you and me, we mine Ethereum, and we don't run our cards above like 60 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So like, that's just on our personal gaming rigs though. But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very in the dark about like all of the terms you're saying. I'm not like, I didn't build my own computer. I'll censor that, but built my computer for me. I was also mid panic attack, mind you, because this is the day that I had to go to the hospital for Valium. Throwback to the other show.
oh hell yeah.
So like I was kind of like panicking already and like shaking, and Renz is like, "Hand me the screwdriver," and I'm like, the what? And like, so he built it for me, and yeah, it was, yeah. I didn't like, so I don't know like the terminology for like parts. I don't know like the,
Yeah.
it's just like numbers.
So basically, Nvidia, the company, is making it so that one of their GPUs is 50% less effective for cryptocurrency mining, using a driver or a software thing. So essentially,
So does it make it more efficient for gaming but less efficient for mining?
So it doesn't change it at all for gaming, but it makes it 50% less effective for mining.
Yeah.
How they do that, I'm not sure, and how they would prevent people from hacking it. That's one of the other issues that Linus brought up. And he also brought up the point that when you start to make these cards, one, it's a terrible waste of like plastic and metal and whatever, because you can't reuse the card at all.
Yeah.
Like once, with how crypto mining is becoming increasingly sorry, difficult. You had like Ethereum recently went from, I don't think you can mine on 4 GB cards anymore.
So is mining like something that they're trying to like? Is mining something they're trying to like stop people from doing? Yes. Essentially. So is that illegal?
Actually, it's yes and no. Well, one, yeah, it's legal because it's their product, so they can kind of dictate how people use their products.
No, I mean, is mining illegal? Is mining
no, mining is
okay.
I wouldn't say me and Ron are mining if it was illegal. But
fair enough. That's true.
Yeah, so I don't think they want to stop miners. I think they just want to make money. Because then you have miners that will buy these cards, these specialized cards, and then you have gamers that can't buy the mining cards off the secondhand market for like a reasonable price. I don't know if you guys remember when the 3080 series just dropped, like when Nvidia announced their first cards, like the 3080, the 3090, you could find a 2080 Ti for like $500, $600 because people were panic selling them.
Right, because they thought they were out of value.
Yeah, because they're like, oh shoot.
So I didn't really follow the buying market because I don't have enough money to like really spend on PC parts like that. Like I have my PC right now; it's doing good for me. Right now. I want to upgrade eventually because there's a few parts I want to like fix up and get new. But like I also don't know enough about it to follow like the market like you guys do. Like, could you explain it for like an outsider, like a little bit more like dumb?
Yeah. So basically, they released a card in the past. Like they had this one card called the 2080 Ti, right? It was $1,200. Okay, so like $1,200,
less than half the price.
So what happened was, Nvidia released a brand new card or new set of cards. One of them was the 3070, and they marketed the hell out of it and basically said it can do just as well as a 2080 Ti, but it only cost, what is it, $700? The 3070, I think.
Something like that.
So all these people that have 2080 Ti's are like, oh crap, my card that's worth $1,200 isn't worth that anymore because Nvidia just made this product obsolete by releasing a card that can do just as well, but for like almost half the price.
So
Well, then
did it actually do just as well though?
there's some stuff it doesn't do quite as well at, and there's some concerns with how much virtual RAM, VRAM, the 3070 has, but like for the most part,
Yeah.
it keeps up really, really well with the 2080 Ti.
So essentially,
then-
they did like really market the shit out of that. Like
Yeah.
they like did like really good with the pricing then.
Mhm.
And they
Yeah,
bought
so
out,
they-
like,
Oh yeah. So then all these
market.
people were like, and this was before people knew there was going to be stock shortages. Gosh, I keep stock shortages. So people were like, oh crap, we gotta get our money as quick as we can and just sell all these cards because no one's going to want to buy them if they're
Right.
more expensive than a 3070. So you had all these people sell these cards, and then now you realize you had people that held on to their cards, and then you have all these stock shortages, and no one can buy a GPU, not from AMD, not from Nvidia, and then now those cards have all jumped up in price again.
Yeah, basically.
So that's what Nvidia is
big
trying to
shortage.
combat. Whether they actually are trying to solve the problem with the stock, or if they're just trying to make a quick buck in like the long term, I don't know for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much the situation, and there's people a lot more knowledgeable about the topic, like Linus. There's a couple other smaller YouTubers that have talked about it.
Yeah.
I
But
haven't really
that's
watched
the
tech
gist.
YouTubers before. I don't really know like
Mm.
I haven't really like I kind of want to get into like more like knowledgeable about like PC stuff because that's what my major was in college before I dropped out. But like I should know because I also have like another case down here that Nick gave me. I'll censor that as well. But Nick gave me 2 fans and another case, and I have like I want to transfer all my parts into that case, and I want to like wipe the hard drive, make it like a new PC, and I also like want to do it hands on, like with someone else helping me, but like myself, like make
Yeah.
sure it's actually good. Because no offense, I have to censor that, but like he kind of fucked up my computer a bit because he was also drinking a little bit, you know.
Just a little
bit.
Sounds about
And
right.
so like, oh, also like I had to leave it there overnight, and my PC like he didn't set up like the actual PC. Well, he was waiting to set up the actual like PC part, like, to turn it on and set up like use like my email, activate Windows and such. This is why I don't have Windows, by the way, is because he created a new email called Noah is asleep right now at gmail.com because I was literally asleep. And
That's funny.
he made my account for me. So that's I can't get Windows because I think I buy the Windows account in my old like my email's name. Like you know like the ones that you sent me through email. I
Yeah.
use like twice like 2 of those little fucking codes that are like probably not legal to use, but like pirating. Anyway, like we're not a legal group. Well, I'm not a legal person. I'm actually like Hispanic
Illegal
completely.
immigrant.
I'm from Mexico.
Confirmed.
I'm albino.
No, yeah, it's definitely a good idea to learn more about your hardware and just even just basic PC stuff in general, especially if you want to do like upgrading and you don't want it to be super expensive. Because like I've bought some secondhand parts before. Like I probably won't buy a used power supply or used memory, RAM or like storage, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'd buy like a used case fan or even a GPU or a CPU, if I like, just depending on how much you know about it and know what to look for, because then you can prevent people from trying to scam you. You know, they're like, oh look at here's this new GPU that's so good. Like just knowing the prices and knowing performance
Right.
and knowing how that compares, it's always really important. And like once you get into it, like it's not that hard because now then you just kind of follow serial numbers and you can kind of use stuff you do know as like a base and just build upon that.
Yeah,
But like no, it's definitely a good idea.
I want to have like a PC that like lasts, like longevity is like my goal.
Mhm.
Like I want like a good, it can run like decent games. Like I don't I honestly don't want like a $2,000 PC. Like I'm not trying to get like super crazy here.
You can get a nice
Like I just want to
PC
like
for like 800 to 1,000. That'll last you a while.
mine's 500. I'm pretty sure right now, but I only have a 1030 in there.
Future proofed for games and stuff. You know, like you could.
It also depends on what you want to play.
Yeah, that's also true.
I mostly just play CS, Minecraft, like basic games that the 1030 covers. Just fine with full graphics for both. Like my render distance is 64 blocks or 64 chunks in Minecraft. So
I mean, you might get more use out of upgrading your RAM than doing much with your.
Oh, what the fuck?
Than you would maybe doing stuff with your GPU or a new CPU. Because I know Minecraft uses a crap ton of RAM, especially if you want to run like mods.
I don't know.
Ron is really close.
Oh my god, Ron, this is crazy. But I don't need like a RAM upgrade. I'm good on RAM. I think I have 32 gigabytes of RAM.
Oh no, that's a good amount.
So I'm good on that. I want to get another GPU so I can do 2 screens. Just like have like 2 separate graphics cards. Is that like how you do screens?
No, you just do a beefier GPU. So what do you have right now? You said a
1030. So I'll probably need a better graphics card then.
You probably wouldn't need something too crazy, like what? I
was thinking a 1060.
A 1060 or like a 1660, 16, or even like I think 580 can do dual screen pretty good depending on the resolution.
Yeah, honestly.
You'll have to like. I was thinking of one night, like maybe we could go over to Ron's house. I could bring my PC and we could like inspect it, make it like all fine and dandy.
I mean, if you just want another screen to like open another tab on, you know, like on
That's
Chrome, if you have another port on the back of your GPU, you should be able to do it, basically.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I've tried. It just
What's
doesn't support it.
What's the resolution on your monitor? Because you have 2, right? For each one, I mean.
Oh, the resolution of my monitor.
Yeah, because
talking about these terms I just don't know about, man.
So like 720, like 1080, 1440.
Where would I look at display?
Where would you find that actually?
That
I'm not sure.
Under display, yeah.
It would be under display. Like advanced, whatever, maybe. Advanced display.
Advanced display settings. Display information. Resolution 1920 by 1080.
Yeah. Okay. So 1080.
Yeah.
That's not 4K. So like, no, I didn't think you had a 4K monitor.
Cool, though.
That's no offense. I wouldn't game.
I don't want a 4K monitor. I don't want. Both my monitors are $50. I'm not fucking going for anything crazy here. Like.
Yeah, I wouldn't want. I think 1440 is a really good like medium. Like
You'll have to send me some links to like some cheaper sites, and maybe like within the next 6 months I'll buy it or something. For 10 months.
I would definitely wait. Everything is so expensive right now. Like the monitor I have now is a curved 27-inch 1440 144 hertz. So like a nice monitor, and it was only like $400, which sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot, but like, same one, right? AOC.
AOC.
But like
Alexandria, what's her face Cortez? I have an
no,
Acer.
not that. You have an Acer? Wow.
Yeah, it's curved 1440p, 144 hertz, I think.
So it's like cheaper compared to something like Samsung.
Yeah. It's not a brand name, but it gets you all the specs you really want, and that's really what matters in the game.
And you might miss some like color tuning stuff.
1440 hertz, like 4K. That's an expensive piece of hardware there.
No, 1440p, 144.
Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's okay. So 14. So you know, like 1080 resolution. Oh, so between 1080 and 4K is like a little middle one called 1440p. So it's like the in between of 1080 and 4K is 1440.
Can it go beyond 4K?
Yeah, there's 8K.
Basically, 1440p is 2K.
Yeah.
NBA 1440p.
So.
And then 144 hertz is just how fast the monitor like refreshes like the image.
Oh, the refresh rate. Oh, so is there 16K?
I think so.
Probably.
I mean, you can
They're
make a display
32K.
technically as big as you want, because in order to make a
Oh, is it a big?
8K
Is that
display,
like
that's
the?
just 4K displays, right?
Is that just the size of the display?
It's the
Kind
resolution
of.
of the display.
Yeah.
So,
So like
a movie theater's display would be like 64K or something, then, right? Like
it
IMAX or whatever.
it probably has like a pretty high resolution just because it has to
Figure that out.
beam it. So like there's
Well, that's also
so now you're kind of getting into what is that pixel density? So
I
like
have
you can
no
have
idea.
a really high display.
Yeah, that's
Like for
DPI,
example,
or
if I
pixels per inch, PPI.
PPI I think. So like if I had a 720 display and I try to put it up on like a movie theater screen, the density of the pixels is not tight enough, so you would notice all these little imperfections because you're making the pixels much larger than they should be.
I see. So, don't they use projectors in movie theaters though?
They do.
Yes.
So right
So
here
how
it
does that
says
translate?
it is an estimated that the 35 millimeter film, which is, so do you guys know the way film works? It's kind of interesting. Basically,
No.
Sort of. I might need a new explanation.
the reason it looks so clear, and when you look at film today and you upscale it or whatever, if you have the master film reel, basically it's better than digital was at the time, which is why it was used for cinema and stuff. And there's other reasons too, because it's using basically like little teeny crystals, and so that's why like some remastered music videos and stuff, some like comments, because there was an article about this like I think last year, where people were like, I didn't know they filmed this in 4K in the 80s and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's just on film. It's just film was higher fidelity then, and in order to broadcast it, you had to basically broadcast a screen, and that's why that's its own thing. But basically, that's how film works. So
Wait,
makes
films
sense.
movie theaters don't use film right now, do they?
IMAX does.
They do?
Yes. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
they still
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's really
it's-
cool.
Yeah,
It's
IMAX
crazy.
is really like they have like extremely good filming techniques. Like the cameras are like extremely good. They're better than like digital, and like how it is now, like how it was back then, translating to how it is now. Film and I don't feel like film is probably gonna go out of like style for a while, because low key like film reels are pretty cool. Like
Yeah, look at these
I kind
beefy
of wanted to get like a
boys.
projector.
That's
like,
crazy. That looks like a fridge. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It does look like a fridge.
I wonder if that gets into like audiophile whatever, like analog
it's
connection,
basically that for video. Yeah.
and how like or like no Bluetooth, just pure wires, and like these big beefy like I don't know 4.5 millimeter connections or whatever, just
Yeah.
because the sound is like lossless or whatever. I don't know all that
Well,
shit.
if we read to get to the point that I think Noah was asking about, it says it is estimated that 35 millimeter film has a digital resolution equivalent to 4K, and then 35 IMAX film equivalents to equates to 6K, while
Equivalent.
70 millimeter IMAX is closer to 12. Regardless of how they are shot, most films will be converted into a digital format for editing, color grading, and VFX.
So it'll end up at 2K no matter what. Then most likely.
1 minute. Look at this.
Why is it shaking?
What?
Ron's having an earthquake, an isolated earthquake.
What's that music?
What is that? What's happening?
Like an animation. What the fuck?
Ron, what's happening?
I didn't know you lived in California.
Can we make that joke? Has any natural disasters happened in California recently?
Guess what time it is?
Probably.
It is bedtime.
Yeah, guess what that was? It was the bedtime.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, does yours vibrate then?
Yeah.
Your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys
That's
have
funny.
to get off then?
No.
We have to
It's
cut
just a
this
recording
short.
because we're both, well, mostly me and
Oh.
Dad at going to bed.
Big
Me
no.
too.
Big
That's
no.
why I have one.
We're at around 45-50 minutes right now from like my
Yep.
recording.
I'm at.
My
42.
recording's at 51. But I think I recorded like 5-10 minutes
Yeah.
before he started.
So Noah,
fuck.
what did you want to talk about again? I think there was a topic. Was it
So-
drugs?
Yes. I don't know how deep we can go into this. I want to do a lot of harm reduction, but like, okay. So first off, let me just state, I only do weed. Weed is like the only drug that I do regularly. I smoke. I don't smoke. I don't always smoke like every day. Sometimes I'll smoke like a bowl before bed, but I don't really smoke like excessively. It's just like after work or before work. Sometimes during work. But not in.
As Ron rips a fat cloud. Oh.
I smoke weed, but there's other drugs that are out there. I have partaken in other drugs before. I've also been laced with other drugs before. I could give you guys like a list of like what I've done and what I've been laced on, and like what I've done willingly and what I've been laced on, and we could like go from there type thing.
I have a quick question though. Is the list for stuff you've been laced with, is that higher than the list that you've...
Yes, it's higher than the ones that I've done willingly.
Have you considered maybe your group of friends should change?
I've cut off the people that have laced me.
Okay,
For sure.
good.
Yeah, I no longer talk to those people. I will not say any names because I don't want to get fucking stabbed.
No, you
Like,
should just
fuck.
sue them. I don't know how that would work.
Make money?
They're underage.
Can you sue someone for lacing you?
I imagine you could
Probably.
do something.
It's like,
How would
what am I
what
gonna
would
be
you
like?
sue them
Yeah,
for?
at work, I ripped this guy's vape pen, and it had Molly in it. Like, what's the report there? Like, we could start at the very beginning. The very beginning of my drug escapades, you know?
You can just say,
The first
"Hey,
time I ever did
officer."
drugs.
He has possession and then also.
Oh, true.
The law.
Right, because I feel
There
like
might be.
forcefully spiking something.
Or unknowing.
I guess also like I was fine afterward. Like I was pissed, but I was fine afterward. We can talk about my okay. We can do the list first, then we could go into a couple of different stories.
Sure.
Start with the list. So, willingly, I've done weed, I've done LSD, and I've done mushrooms, Adderall, and Xanax. Adderall unprescribed, Xanax prescribed. Xanax do not recommend. Adderall also do not recommend. I have a motto of no pills, no powders.
What
Only
about
liquids.
what is it again?
That was the hospital drug.
Valium?
That's the lace. I consider that a lace. We'll get into that one. 'Cause I
Okay.
do consider that a lace for sure.
What was
I
that?
also consider the Ativan a lace as well. Like the hospital did not let.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm shaking, but I'm having some anxiety because sometimes it's hard to talk about. It's kind of...
Well, real quick, I just looked into my camera and now I'm blind because I have my flash on.
I can't. Ron, you
hello?
cut out.
You
I'm
did
blind
cut out
because I
audio.
looked at my flash.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're
That's
on.
all I wanted to say.
Anyway.
Well, go ahead, Noah.
That's my list of drugs that I have partaken in. So LSD and shrooms, psychoactive, psychedelics, drugs that I haven't told my dad I've taken.
Until now.
That does about yeah, until now. But I'd say that they're becoming legalized around the country. So I'd say that that's not legalized recreation.
Does Oregon count though? Oregon, how do you pronounce it?
They legalized psychedelics and they decriminalized all drugs. So both.
That's crazy. I think Oregon's
Well,
crazy though, because you can't pump your own gas. They
No,
think you're gonna
Oregon-
blow up the station or something.
Oregon just did that to they don't make it to where they'll get arrested. You can be sent to rehab for drug related things. So if you get arrested for a pound of heroin, you're sent to rehab. You're not gonna. Well, unless you the dealer charges might.
Sorry about that.
Dealer charges.
Just
I
like,
hit snooze.
bro, he's like, bro, I don't even do it, bro. I just sell it, man.
I feel okay, so there are the differences between the amounts that you have on you for dealer. There's okay, so let's say you have an ounce of marijuana on you.
Hmm.
Okay, well in our state it's legal. You can have up to 2 ounces on you without a medical marijuana card. If you're driving. Yeah, I think it's 2 ounces on you. If you're caught with more than that.
In
you can
Michigan?
be Caught with yes. I believe you can get caught with dealer charges if you're caught with more than that without a license. A special license to transport it or whatever.
Wait, did we legalize it for recreational use?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we did.
I'm not 21. Anyway.
Yes, you are. You are 21.
I can pull my ID out.
Why would you lie to the people like that, Noah?
You'll never know. I could be 35 for life. I look 35.
You look like you're 17.
See, it was
I
actually a
just shaved
joke
and get a
because he's
haircut.
22. You gotcha.
I was born in
Ladies and
1997.
gentlemen,
We got
we got him.
We got him. Okay, so we can move on to the list of non-consented drugs, like drugs
Yeah.
that I've been laced with. So, I've been laced with weed. I've been laced with LSD. These are also drugs that I've taken like willingly. I've been laced with Molly, which is ecstasy. We can get more into that one in a minute. Cocaine. I've been laced with actually. Someone put it in my first time ever smoking weed. You can put it in the blunt.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You can smoke cocaine. It turns into crack essentially, but it's cocaine. I smoked cocaine.
Mm.
But the same night I was laced with acid and edible, a marijuana edible. So I took the equivalent of 5 hits of acid, which is a fuck ton, and I was laced with cocaine as well.
What does that do to you mentally?
Yeah, substances for one night.
Something I don't recommend because I've never put myself through that willingly before, and I never...
Oh,
Cocaine never did.
we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Am I good?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, like I'd never recommend doing like cocaine. I'd never recommend doing. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing acid.
I'm sorry.
What?
You got stuck on a face. It was
you
really funny.
Oh, I did.
It was like,
I'll see that.
you know.
That night was the next week was honestly fucked because so I was actually at a cabin up north. I'm not gonna say where. It was like maybe an hour away, and like from where I live. Maybe no, it was like 2.5 hours maybe. And I worked like the last day of my trip, so I had to like drive back. I was still feeling the acid and the other drugs, and I drove those 3.5 hours. It wasn't like intensely strong, but I was still in that headspace. I drove home. Don't remember the drive. I had to get home. I couldn't tell my dad like, "Hey, like, you got to come pick me up because I'm on a drug." I was 17. I wasn't even 18 yet. This is the first time I've done weed. First time, like I only wanted to try weed. I was here to try it as an edible because I didn't want to smoke because I have asthma. And like I was kind of afraid of smoking. I mean, obviously, look at me now. But like, yes.
We
You guys have
lost you for a
questions,
second.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, Jordan. I think just you were losing him.
Really?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Oh.
So you're not getting the camera freeze right now?
I'm getting the camera freeze, but I can still hear him.
No, I heard him. It was just for a brief moment. Like his mouth was moving, but there was no words.
I see.
Oh, yeah. If my mic is too far away, it won't work properly because my mic has the issue with like, it's not gonna pick it up. Like it has to literally make that mic to pick it up. So if I move a little bit too much around, you're not gonna hear me. I should probably get a mic. Like I should probably just plug this mic in because the quality is probably not gonna be too much different than this one.
But it's so much cooler to have it on your head. Mine doesn't do that.
Like that. Ron's just comes out. Ron's cooler.
That's a...
That made a cool sound.
I think okay. So back to like my list.
That was less cool.
That did make a cool sound.
It was like sound like Vietnam.
I know.
It's okay.
So 17
That's
in the
my
car, 3.5 hour drive. Yeah,
I
that's
worked at
scary.
McDonald's
So
the next
like,
day. Or I worked at McDonald's that night. I dropped a friend off, and then I worked at McDonald's. I did a closing shift there. I wasn't supposed to be closing. I was 17. They made me close anyway, so I was there till like 1, 2 in the morning. So I hadn't even seen my dad yet. So I go directly from that event to work, and I've never. This is the first time I've worked high. Like I don't work at McDonald's anymore. I'm just gonna bash the place. It's a shitty job, so I fucking liked it. But like, it felt great to be like high, not on all of those, but like weed was kind of nice. I took a couple edibles while working. Back to like the main story. Like I was talking to people that weren't there, and that's how I got caught being high at work. They were like, "Oh my, like what are you on right now?" And
wait, you were talking to
Talking
people
fine.
like you were having
Coworkers that were there.
conversations? Okay.
because I thought they were there. I was heavily hallucinating stuff, so I thought they were still there. So This is
This
a year
so
before I
it
started.
was this just weed?
No, this is
Okay.
acid.
I was gonna say, wait, I didn't
Psychedelic-
think weed did that. I was like, I don't smoke it, so I don't know. But I didn't think weed made you like, you're like, whoa, hey, Bobby, didn't see you there. And then your boss
So
is
that's
just
how I
like,
got caught. Yeah, like I got caught, and I was like, dude, I had a rough week. Like, I'm sorry, but like, at least I'm here. Like, just say, at least I'm here working.
mm,
Year before I started cold, and so LSD can have something called HPPD, or what is it? It's essentially PTSD for your brain. It's I can't remember. Ron, can you look this up? HPPD.
Is that similar to like induced psychosis or whatever that's called?
It's very similar, where you can still see visions and you can still see hallucinations and have the effects of acid for
What
years
am I looking at?
after. HPPD.
HP Project Beta.
HPPD. PPPPD.
I feel so dumb.
Is it D?
We're a bunch of grown men laughing at PP.
I legitimately
Yes, yes,
didn't
you
know
think
what
about
were trying
that-
to say.
Hallucinogen persisting perception disorder. That is the disorder where you will still have it's essentially psychosis. And I didn't smoke weed for at least almost 2 years since, because I was scared. Okay, well, also pretense to the story, I didn't find out I got laced until 2 years after I did this as well. So I thought this was all
Oh, you-
weed.
Oh, so you were just under the impression that
Yep.
every effect was pure weed. I mean,
Don't
hell,
say
I wouldn't.
anybody's names of who was there. I don't associate with any of the people that were there anymore.
Right,
I don't
Mhm.
think that they
McDonald's,
knew
right?
that we were laced. Yeah, this is when I was working at McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't think anyone who ever works at McDonald's and then quits, like, unless you knew someone going into that workplace before you got hired, unless it was a really good McDonald's and you got lucky, I don't think you're gonna really give a shit about anyone who was there, because I don't remember really anyone except for one person, and they don't even work there anymore, so I'll never see him again.
Damn,
Yeah,
that got dark.
It's true though. I mean, it's kind of like when you graduate, right?
I
Well,
lived
I'm
with
not
somebody
gonna
from
see
McDonald's,
these
actually.
jackasses for the rest of my life, so fuck them.
My first roommate was from McDonald's.
Can you imagine? That would be a great. What do they call them? Graduating speeches or whatever. You're like, you're at the podium. You're like, I'm not gonna see any. Yeah, I can't even do it. I'm not even gonna see any of you,
Alright,
jackass.
guys, it was good
Fuck
working
'em.
with all y'all. Shit, we're in school. I won't see any of you. Goodbye.
Fuck you guys. Just like
Fuck.
a really edgy, like, fool. Ron, no. No, Ron.
And then you dab.
do
And
that.
then is
Yeah,
dabbing still cool? Is it still cool to dab?
only if you smoke.
I dab at work all the time. Personally. So I think it's a cool thing. It's a hip thing, I'd say.
It probably hasn't been cool for like 3 years. This is how our parents feel, man. When they like make a joke and they're like, "That's radical," and you're like, "Dad, you're
Fuck you,
50
Dad.
years old. No one says that anymore."
Well,
And
like,
he's like,
the perfect example.
"That racist? Is that racist?"
No. The Chinese Communist Party has tons of, what do they call it?
The People's Democratic Republic of China, I
Crimes
think.
against humanity. I don't feel bad
Oh.
for the Chinese government. Anyways, what was I
Aren't they
saying?
committing mass genocide right now as
They
well?
are, so fuck them.
Was it mass genocide? I thought it was. I thought it was
just
internment
genocide.
camps.
It just it's genocide. It's just
What was
Canada
I trying
just
to
recently
say?
classified it as genocide.
You said "bing ching 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 chong."
Before that.
Fuck him.
Oh, perfect example of boomer humor. So like 2012, 2010 around there, Captain Sparkles had Minecraft music and stuff like that. I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember like
Oh yeah, the
Fallen Kingdom or whatever. All that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
My dad thought it was super
So
cool
good.
because he didn't like pop music at the time, but he's like, well, this is good for the kids. So like later on, you know, when it's years on, I would just hear him humming the song, or like he'd say a line, and it's like, Dad, that's
Chunks with load
just a
when I
boomer.
gave
I don't know
word.
what to say. It's a boomer vibe, and that's
Weird though.
Do you just
Can
do
like
you just
can
hear
you?
your dad going like creeper? Oh.
Oh man,
So,
that's so crazy to think about. That song came out when we were like in middle school, younger than that maybe even.
Isn't that like his most viewed like thing on his channel?
And
Is
now
one
he's
of those
probably.
on
songs?
Ford GT and Ferraris and all that, and he does Reddit reviews. So I mean, he adapted
Fucker's got-
pretty well.
So like,
He's really, I think he's
and then
gonna
it came
translate
back.
to all-
You know,
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah,
resurgence.
Minecraft made a huge comeback last year. We
Yeah.
could probably talk about it actually. Like, okay, we could actually talk about a world record attempt a little bit.
That was fun.
We did
I
mention
wonder.
we mentioned that.
Sorry, no. I just want to say
Oh,
I
it's okay.
wonder if anyone filmed like a screen with you on it, because I know your whole file went poo poo. But
I saved the Twitch files. I saved the
Ah,
Twitch
okay.
files. I want to make a video on it one day. I
Can
think
I
it'd be really
find
funny to have like. No, it expires after 14 days. They're gone. They're not on the channel at all.
That sucks.
Yeah, I saved it to my PC though. But like, yeah, the world record attempt was a botch. But we could talk about like that.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
kind of want to. No,
That is him. Yeah, that's him.
Is this you, Noah?
We don't know
No.
much about them, but we're sure Noka is great.
That's not my profile pic. My profile pic is my Steam profile.
Wait, that's not you?
No, that's not me. Like seriously, that's not me.
Isn't that the same name?
No, pull it up.
I thought your name was Noka.
That's
No, you have numbers. You have numbers, right? You have
It's Noka
numbers.
525. Oh, my phone logged me out. I don't feel like logging in.
Noka 526.
Look at all these
Hey,
number
hey,
boards.
Down.
There you are,
No,
Fortnite.
You playing Fortnite with my cousin? Holy shit, that's still up?
3 years ago? 14
Yeah.
days my ass, Noah. That's 3 years ago.
No,
I'll
you
follow
can save videos on there, but you like VODs won't save after 14 days.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
like,
the only video I have on Twitch.
3
That's-
years is far cry from 14 days.
Bro, I forgot I did Twitch for 3 or 4 years ago. I used to actually do that like before I worked at McDonald's. So before I worked at McDonald's, I'd be streaming at least an hour or two every day after school. So I gathered a decent following, like 20, 30 viewers every day with me. And so I started getting a little bit of donations. And I was just chilling. I'd get like $1 or $2, like not a lot of money. And I'm not saying anything because it was still money.
How
But
much
one day I was
money?
playing GTA. I was getting like $1 or $2 donations like every stream. It's not like a lot, but like you know, it's still money, of course.
Yeah, no,
But,
I
like,
get where
one
you're
day I was
coming
playing-
from, because that's really
playing
similar
GTA
to
5.
YouTube.
I was playing,
for
but I was playing GTA 5, and this guy donated me $500. And I started screaming, dude, like legitimately just screeching, because that's the most
What
money
the
I'd ever
heck?
see at that point. Yeah, he was just like, "I like your style, kid," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll take the money." I mean, like,
You're like,
all I remember is hearing my
what
step.
spend money on?
I remember hearing my stepbrother go, "Shut the fuck up," and I'm like, "I just got money." Like, just stupid shit like that. But
I'm
like,
getting paid!
Yeah, no, that's Noah. If you were to like stream every day for being that small, though, that's similar to what I'm getting on YouTube right now.
yeah, I kind of want to.
Is this shameless channel promotion right here?
It might be.
Ron, you're an asshole. We're gonna blur this out, actually.
No, we're not. At least show them the money, because that's what I want. them to show.
My channel up there.
Flexing
Put my channel up there.
So what? That's like 50 cents to, well, let's say 60 cents to $1 a day.
Bro, put my
Oh.
channel up there, bro. Put my
All right, I'll put a picture of Kirby up in post because that's literally all you are.
Bro,
Okay,
I'm just-
but
I'm just
What
gonna
I'm
stream Kirby, bro.
I kind of want to stream a lot more though because it was low key really fun. Like if you get people talking, hyping you up, not hyping you up, like shutting you down, like being like assholes in chat. Like I had a moderator as well. I had a moderator from Austria named Kevin. He was a cool kid. I actually really, or no, Kenny. His name was Kenny.
Kenny
His name was Kenny.
Kenny from Austria.
Yes, Kenny from Austria. He used to be my moderator. What?
No, it was cool.
What are you saying, Ron?
What are you saying, Ron? Okay.
You said Kenny
Anyway,
was a cool kid. I wanted to say it was cool with the K, but I
K,
said
K,
it
K?
was- I said it was the kid.
Kenny
with
was a
the
cool
K,
kid.
And I was like, yeah, actually it is. So never
Kenny the
mind.
cool kid.
Okay. But yeah, I would stream. He would kick people from the chat that were spamming like the N-word or something, like stupid shit.
Like you
that. So I'd
do.
play, like, yes, of course. But like I'd play like Minecraft. I'd play like Destiny 2. I'd play like CS. I'd play like streamable games. And I'd amass a little following. It was kind of fun. But I had to
Mhm.
stop after I got my job because like it was rough. And I actually had a channel with over 1,000 videos on it at one point. All of them were really shitty, like 10-minute long, like uncut gameplay, like really shit. And it wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining at all. I just kind of put it up there because it's like, fuck it. It was a good game, but like it really wasn't good gameplay either. So like my channel is now 2 videos. I cut it down from 1,200 to 2. And
Dang,
yeah.
that's
So-
crazy.
No, it was down to 2. Then I've uploaded 2 since then, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I jumped out of it too like early, I think, because I was gaining a little bit of a following. I had not anywhere close to Ron's numbers, but like maybe 30 to 40 views a video.
Why
Nothing
can't I
too
find
great.
you?
It's not Noka525, capital then.
Is that
You subbed to me, aren't you?
Will that make a difference?
It should.
Will it really?
It should. What?
Hmm.
Hold on. Search up Megastone CS:GO moments. Capitalize the M.
I don't think it's.
Don't capitalize the S.
We're gonna find it.
No,
No,
you gotta
we are.
type in the whole thing. Megastone CS:GO moments. You gotta add the D to
Found
the stone. Oh, hey.
Ooh, you're at 31.
Yeah, that's because I subbed our channel to it.
I did the same.
But,
You're all good.
Shameless promo.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun to stream. I don't know what I would stream.
I know you
Plus-
said you'd stream once you moved out,
Yeah.
and I want to stream with you. I think like just like basic games like CS, Minecraft, and like maybe like if we had like a group of people. Like
wanna
I remember I
stream too.
recorded when we played Among Us. That was a really fun one. I have a really
That
good
was
video
pretty
of that
funny.
actually. I want to edit that one up into a video sometime. But I think like we could just play like the new games. Like, what's the one like game that you guys are playing? Valheim? Is that a good game?
Valheim?
The forest though.
Valheim.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
this is Forest Review.
Yeah.
I've recorded all the forest stuff too, though,
Yeah.
without your consent.
Oh, okay.
Going back.
Ah,
to
remember we talked about that. We
Yeah,
talked
I
about
did.
that.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to now. As long as you're in
Hey, I'm gonna just.
Did you?
record
Did you?
guys.
He was part of it, man, and he consented. Oh, yeah, that could
Hey.
be cool. We could do that one day, where instead of a stream, we just run the forest,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
podcast, we just run the forest if you guys wanted to. I'd need
Maybe,
a
like-
capture card though.
Instead of like, well, I could always record it. Like, you don't have like,
Oh,
since you don't have
true.
a channel, you don't like edit or anything. You could just be like, yeah.
I could
we
be an
just do it
actor.
live.
Yeah. And if you guys
Yes.
wouldn't mind, I could do it live on my Twitch because.
I don't care. I would
Oh,
go
yeah.
live too. I don't.
I wouldn't care as long as you
want
just just get in touch with my lawyer, to sign that.
Wait, have we gotten the script written for the first stream yet? Or what we're gonna be saying exactly? Like every cough and every sniffle. I've gotten through like page 54 of the script. So
Yeah. I'm
Are
page
we- we're
56, I'd take out a gun and shoot my monitor.
On page 31.
coincidentally, on page 56, I also pull out a gun and shoot anybody nearby me, like school children.
Brittany,
Honestly, it's like
censor that. Censor the name.
I think she's okay with it. Are you okay with your name in this? Talking about shooting somebody. Oh, we're not talking about that. Oh.
Wait. Me and
Oh.
What-
No. There's actually this is actually a good topic, Loki. So Brittany was talking about.
no.
Maybe
She was
not.
Well,
talking about how.
Because she
Okay,
said something, and you're like, no, we're not talking about that. And me and Ron are just like,
no,
wait,
we're not talking about,
about
anything
what?
inappropriate. We're talking about. So she had this like theory that like if she's in a situation where somebody pulls a gun on you,
Mm.
you get shot. Depending on where it is, you won't pass out at all. Like the adrenaline will kick in and
Yeah.
keep you going.
right.
Do you think that you would like? You don't think that you'd pass out at all?
Well, it would
Depends.
depend on where I'd be shot, you know?
That's what everyone's.
I mean,
like,
because
I
a lot
think,
of a lot of soldiers, when they're like in a combat scenario, they get shot and they don't realize it, or even police officers. That's why they check each other over, because sometimes you don't even know you're shot.
I've
and that's
heard of
what's
that, but I'm
crazy.
thinking like, what if like it's like point blank, like you know you got shot, like you're getting robbed type situation, like you're shot like. arm
It would
and
depend.
shoulder.
It would depend. I think it would probably depend on the caliber. It would depend on the person. It would depend on
I think
what state of mind you were in.
I think my argument was a 9mm pistol, one shot to the shoulder or like the arm, like a good like shot, like a spot that would make you bleed a lot, like an artery. I believe that would make
I
you
don't
pass
think
out,
you would.
right?
Probably, I don't think you would do it. I don't think it would happen immediately. And that's something people
I
don't
wouldn't say
realize, like with
immediately.
movies or video games. But like
I'm thinking
the
like they'd go
first
down
bullet,
within the first few minutes.
the first bullet doesn't usually drop a person or kill a person.
No.
Unless it's like a large caliber to like the chest and it like knocks you over, or like you get shot in the face and
Oh yeah.
you're unconscious.
I
Even
think to
getting
argue it's just like torso area, like nothing like that would kill you immediately, like nothing like a headshot. Like a headshot would
Mhm.
knock you out.
yeah,
But, like
if not outright kill you, depending on where it hit.
What was the question?
Yeah.
What are you trying to figure out?
We were talking about page like 60, and then someone pulled a gun, and then we're now on this topic.
My monitor, and then Noah was like, "I'm gonna shoot out my window, bro."
So to answer your question, as a professional person who has gotten shot multiple times in the chest by 9mm, I don't think it would make you pass out.
Ah, that was
interesting.
Next
Pretty
podcast, we test
we
firearm caliber. Ron is gonna pull out his gun.
No,
Ron,
pull out the gun.
Can we
I'll
do a
just
test
hold
without a
this.
bulletproof vest so I can just get shot?
You guys remember that person who they
Held
or
a
the
Bible
couple
or something?
YouTube couple? I thought it was a
Yeah,
dictionary.
it was
Either way, they
something
held like a
book.
book. And was it a Desert Eagle? I thought it was a Desert Eagle
Deagle
or a
does sound
357.
right. It was a,
Either way, they shot it and the dude died. Like, that's crazy.
yeah, and
I
then
know
the
that's completely off
investigation
topic.
Was like, well, was he suicidal? What was the deal
Mhm.
here? Like, it wasn't even like a phone book in terms of thickness. Also, you're an idiot for thinking a book would work anyways, which is why it's like, well, was he suicidal? Because obviously that wouldn't work.
Sorry, I was talking to Brittany. What were you guys talking about for a second?
Body armor made of phone books.
Yeah.
Oh fuck no, that wouldn't do shit. That's literally
Yeah,
paper.
exactly. It's just.
I think it depends. If it was a small round, like a 9mm, or maybe a slow moving round, like a 45, I think.
Okay, would you go to war with that though?
No.
Would I go to war with
No.
a phone book? That's not what I said. I just said I think.
We're talking armor. Why would you go? Why would you make this into armor? It's like making.
Oh, that
leather
was just
armor.
that was just hyperbole. We were talking about the YouTube couple where the dude had his girlfriend shoot him in the chest with a gun, like a handgun, and
Oh, I
the
think I
book
heard
didn't
about
stop
that.
it.
And then she went.
Yeah.
Of course. Didn't Mr. Beast do a thing on that where it took like
Did
a
he?
couple hundred? I don't know what he's shot in like multiple things through multiple things, but I'm pretty sure it was like paper.
He did kind
took,
of
like,
what like Demo Ranch does, except he did it with like.
Was it like 1,000 pieces of paper?
I don't know
Or
if
that was a
Mr.
million.
Beast has done it, but I know that Demolition Ranch has done it because he's done like everything. And
Play-Doh.
anything you could think
Ram
of
Ranch?
shooting.
Ram Ranch really
Ram
rocks. I have a video
Uh-oh.
that I need to show you guys.
Can it be showed here?
What are we looking at?
Maybe. If not, we can always just. I don't know. Hold on.
We can censor it if we need to.
Just
Hold on. I'm
Send
trying
Ron.
to find it.
If you can find it, send the Ron the link, and he'll just production it.
send the Ron the
Fuck.
link.
No.
Yes.
Send the Ron.
Send
the
Ron
link.
the link.
So I'm putting it in the general chat if you wanna.
Alright.
You wanna give it a look see.
See some legal Michigan marijuana right here. Joint really.
Eat it. Eat the marijuana. I didn't think you would do it. I didn't think you would do it. I didn't think you would.
First time I proper smoked weed, I ate a little bit of weed. It's like
You ate it?
stoner's rights.
Oh.
Passage, rite of passage. It doesn't do anything. I just like, they're just like, do you want to taste it? Because you gotta like. What is
No.
that?
No, go in the general chat and oh, it's a 40-second video. Can we show that, Ron, you think? Probably not.
We can link to it.
Should we link to it?
It's just a fish. just a fish.
The content of which the fish speak, Ron, that I'm concerned about.
I think it would be okay.
I haven't seen the video in a while. I'm gonna watch it.
Can you guys talk down low like this?
No,
Okay,
sir,
what
I'm
the
not.
fuck, Jordan? I feel like we could show that video. That's just like
Why
the
not?
fish, like the mounted fish, like.
I don't know.
Ram man.
The way the head like snap.
Okay.
When it first like, came forward, it killed me, dude. 'Cause we gotta show it now. We have to show it.
Just slams its face again.
Is the audio playing?
The way it turns its head. It's like
Right angle.
Deep naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch. Big head dropping cocks wanting to be
I'm sorry. I don't know why this is so funny to us, but like,
I paused it.
12:30. I'm too tired.
dude,
I
I'm
can't.
feeling shift drunk right now, man.
Bro, I can't. It's
Oh, that killed me.
That was funny though.
Funny. I'm
That was
literally
only
crying.
last year. That's not even that old of a old
Dude.
video.
Can you imagine throwing out your line? You got a big one. You're reeling it in. It's a good one. Good dinner. And you take it. You're unhooking it. It's like 15 naked.
I don't know what I would do if this fish was singing Ram Ranch to me, dude.
Throw all the acid that your weed was spiked with into the river or the
And
lake.
that's how we eliminate a population of fish.
Yeah.
Because they'll just probably
They'll
drown.
become sentient
somehow.
and start killing each other.
This is
That's
gonna be
usually what
weird, but I remember learning. I don't even remember what grade it was, but we were learning about invasive species, so it was probably like either 5th or 6th grade. And I think it was Nile carp, maybe
In
Nile carp. I think in the Nile.
I thought you were talking like. Never mind.
They like introduced the fish as like a fish, like a food fish, and they used to be
Oh,
like
and
really big. And I don't remember. Well, because I don't know. Because we were learning the difference between introduced species and invasive species, and basically the only difference is one completely fucks the ecosystem and the other one doesn't. Yeah. So kind of like honeybees. It's like we didn't have
Mm.
honeybees.
What are those things that, since we live in Michigan, we know all about? Where
Zebra mussels.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of those.
Yeah,
Yep.
Aren't those the
Ballast.
ones that like latch on the boats?
Yep.
Too?
Well, yeah, that or I think they come out of the ballast water. And yeah, if you live in Michigan, zebra mussel is like a PTSD word. So if you're ever visiting from out of state, just go up to a Michigander and say,
Hey, zebra.
zebra mussels, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
they'll like
yeah, sure,
they'll
that
start
works too.
They'll literally start
seizing.
convulsing on the ground. They'll start foaming at the mouth. They'll probably get paralyzed from the legs.
Can you imagine you get arrested for giving someone PTSD because you talked about zebra mussel?
PTSD, you know?
You're just like a marine biologist. You're like, I'm here to study zebra mussels. And you just like dies like in the street.
Or they're like, what did you say? What did you say?
They mentioned the unmentionable word.
Like Vietnam or
Unmentionable.
something.
The speaking zebra.
I think this is
mussel that
devolving. I've lost all sense of sanity.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I know. We kind of like went off topic and then off topic again. Like we're on like an inception.
We're off topic from the off topic topic.
It's okay though, because we talked.
Well-
we went semi deep in all of our off topics enough that I feel like we covered it.
Yeah.
I could go back to talk about drugs again. you know.
Well, just real quick, I want to see if we can remember, because I feel like I can't. So, what were we talking about before zebra mussels?
Fucking
Invasive
fine.
species, right?
Invasive species. Yep.
What were we talking about before invasive species?
Nile carp.
What was before Nile carp?
Invasive species.
Bass. Pulling up a bass.
Oh, yeah,
that's
I was
Ram
talking-
Ranch.
We went from the
Yep.
Ram Ranch video.
Which
Okay.
was
What was
from-
before that?
Ram Ranch was from.
Well, you just
I
wanted to
don't
talk
know.
about it, I think.
I could just go back to drugs then.
Wait, were we talking? There must have been something. Wait, did someone mention a ranch? Someone mentioned a ranch, I thought.
I think I just said the Ram Ranch.
Yeah, okay, Noah just said Ram Ranch because why'd you say Ram Ranch? It's like Blue's Clues, bro. We're just finding the next clue. We just gotta keep jumping back and
Just gotta
find
keep
the.
going back.
We
We're
have
like
to
in
go
the
back. What
final-
is that? Back to the Future?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a very good
we have
movie.
to go back, Marty.
See, and I just pulled us right back off topic again. I'm really.
Back off topic. Have you ever seen the original animation that like Rick and Morty's based off? Doc and Marty. The Adventures of Doc and Marty.
That's a thing.
No, yeah. Rick and Morty's based off Back to the Future. So whoever I don't know if it was Dan Harmon or if it was the other guy. I can't remember who originally made it, but it's a very like Ron. I don't know if you can even show that on the podcast. It's really rancid. Like Rick is going lick my balls, Marty. Like it's Doc. So it's like Doc Brown, and he's like lick my balls, Marty. You should lick my balls so we can go back to the future. And it's like showing his balls, and Marty licks his, like it's really raunchy, really stupid humor, and it's like I don't know. That's like just what that made me like think of when he said we gotta
Ron,
go back.
stop.
Ron, stop.
You know the mental fabric. It's weakening. I
This is like
can't.
the reality. Ooh, has everyone caught up on WandaVision?
Yes.
I have. Yeah.
Okay, we could give a spoiler alert and talk about that if you guys wanted to.
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. If you're still listening to this podcast, do not listen
Fuck
anymore if
you.
you have not caught up on WandaVision. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler.
What episode are we talking about in question so people
We
know?
can talk about
Depending
all of
on.
it. Because we
Okay.
haven't talked about it at all on the show. I actually haven't talked about it with you guys at all. Like, what's your opinion on the show actually?
I really like
I hate it.
Do you actually?
Yes, for two reasons.
Really?
One, there's not more episodes. And two, I don't have time to watch it if there were more episodes.
So it's personal reasons why you hate it. You're just retarded.
You see what I did there? Because I actually like.
So
I
you like
actually
the
like
show,
the
that's
show.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, Ron, what's your opinion on the show then?
I think
He also hates it.
that they're going to run out of. Well, so obviously we said spoilers. They are kind of stuck on the TV show idea, and like every single episode, it's a newer style of TV show. They're gonna run out of that fairly soon.
But also, like, the show only has 2 episodes left, so it has to be
really?
like the big reveal. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah, there's
I
only
think
2
it was
episodes
good.
left.
I wasn't sure how long it was gonna run, so.
Basically,
only
okay,
question.
so since we said story spoilers, basically what happens is Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, is like WandaVision. Like this show is like she is in essentially like on a TV show with Vision, like being like recorded by an unknown force who we still don't really know who it is yet. It's been kind of revealed, but like half-assed twice, so like it's not like for sure. Like I have my theories, we'll get into that in a minute, but they're going through the different decades of TV shows. Like the first one's based off like the 40s, and like the next episode moves on to, like the next decade and so on. Like the most recent episode was parodying like The Office and like 2000
Modern
like, early
Family.
2000s, like Modern
Yeah.
Family. Like, yeah, I definitely liked that episode.
Like
The
Parks and
Office
Rec.
parodying was really cool. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It had like those good vibes to it. But like it goes through that, and it's like a very very slow burn thriller after. Like it's a very slow burn at first. Like you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, there was one unsettling scene in the first episode when Mr. Hart is choking and his
Yeah.
wife is like, "Stop it,
Stop it!
stop it!" And it
Stop
was
it!
very-
The
I'm
actress,
Stop it!
uncomfortable.
she
I'm
really
getting
Stop
so
it!
uncomfortable.
Stop it!
She
Like, her
really
face
liked
Bro, I was
that
like-
scene.
Weird. I was getting so creeped out. Like I didn't like that. And then
I was
like,
waiting
and
for
it slowly
something to
got
like
down.
jump in my face.
I was waiting for like a jump scare as well. It was very like unnerving, very like slow burny, and I kind of like the aspect of it being like slow burny. I also did wait to watch it until the
Bernie?
6th episode was released. Yeah, Bernie
Bernie.
Sanders.
Colonel Sanders?
Fried chicken, KFC console.
Ooh, we could talk about.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna keep delving off topic more and more. The off-topic episode.
No, yeah, no, but I
What?
definitely know what you mean. It was the first 2 episodes were kind of slow, but like it definitely gives you. Why are you purple? Thanos?
Oh my god. What if Thanos is the big cameo at the end of WandaVision?
That would be pretty lit. 'Cause
And he
then
just
you
comes in with
try
like a
to-
business suit.
He just
He's like,
No,
"Hey
he just-
guys, are we still doing that barbecue?" And then Wanda just like slits his fucking throat.
Hey guys, I brought
Oh
the
my god.
Great Fago.
Brought the potato salad. Just Wanda's like, "No," fucking shoots him.
She cabs him to like with the gun instead of using her powers. Okay, but back to the storyline. There's another lady in there that's now like okay, so like basically Wanda accidentally took over this whole town with her powers, as far as we understand, because like she's in a rough mental state after watching Vision die twice in front of her
Yes.
from Infinity War. So she capped essentially like his dead body from a facility at Sword, I believe, is like the organization that's Shield now, and basically like
They were different.
she brought him back to life. Yeah, Sword and Shield are different. It's just
Yeah.
like that's what took place as like the placeholder for like the organization in the Marvel
The
Cinematic
two.
Universe.
One has the Pokemon with like the shield, and the other is the Pokemon with the.
Yeah, it's two different games. It's two different games. Yeah,
Mhm.
but like basically like Shield like is trying to get Vision back now, and then they found out that Wanda took over a town and like enslaved people. But someone from Sword got inside of there named Monica Rambeau, who is what's her face's daughter from Captain Marvel. I know that you guys actually hate Captain Marvel as a movie, so I won't even get into that. But
It's not even
that's-
that I necessarily hate the movie; it's that I don't like Brie Larson.
I'm the other way around.
So you
I
don't
just
like
think
them.
they really. There's just too much to be let down about for Captain Marvel.
Personally, I really liked the movie.
Well, like a big.
Yeah,
one
she was a little bit
is
cocky.
Nick Fury's eye.
That was funny. I liked
It was
that.
funny,
that was
but
that was
like,
really funny.
at what cost? Like, in another movie, he was like, I was betrayed or
Like-
backstabbed or whatever he said. I don't know. I just think their directing and some other stuff was like.
That's true, but they could retcon it because that could have been a scroll. If we remember, the scrolls were involved in that, and
Yeah,
he
but
was
then
on
the
a
one that
face.
Did it was a cat, so then the cat has to be a scroll of someone he was really close with, and it's just like that's. too
No, what
much.
if the cat was just like? What if that wasn't Nick Fury? What if he has a different backstory for his eye? Because they did deal with scrolls a lot in that.
The
That
only
might
thing
not
with
be
that though is they probably wouldn't do a whole like backstory canon thing just for Nick
He's
Fury's
supposed to have a
eye.
movie. He's supposed to have a
Is
movie.
he?
Me and a friend at work were talking about it today. It's in the works. It's in the works.
I mean, just in general, Disney's really popping off right now.
They're honestly doing a good job with like what they're putting out, like high
Yeah.
production, like TV shows that are
Mm.
like tied into the movies in a very nice way. Like
Yeah.
The Mandalorian ended off on a fucking great note in my eyes.
It's just oh for sure. It's really
I
crazy
honestly
too how like
cried
they're
when Luke Skywalker came on scene.
yeah.
I was just
My
like, holy-
mom was like freaking out because I watched it with my mom and
We gotta
couple-
say spoiler before you say something that big. Also,
We've
I
been
haven't
in
watched all
spoilers
of it yet.
I don't
Oh,
fuck. Sorry, Ron.
so you know,
You know, Han Solo dies in Avengers Endgame. Anyway, let's get back on
Turns out
topic
Thanos was
about
actually Luke's father.
bro.
I am your father.
Was his mom's name
Snap.
Martha too?
Martha? Who's Martha?
Oh,
Martha.
the one from Charlotte's Web. I don't know.
No.
Is
Batman
there-
I
versus
don't know what
Superman.
we're saying anymore. I'm just saying.
You know, like Martha, like the Batman versus Superman, like the Martha plot line.
Yeah.
What did you say? Your mom's name is Martha too? I'm gonna help you now. Even though we just fought to the death like 30 seconds ago, I'm gonna be your best friend.
Apparently,
Anyway.
Batman versus Superman, they released some sort of like director's cut or something like that. It was like significantly longer that a lot of people were like, it made a lot more sense, the director's cut,
Mm.
but that should have been the base movie, and it
The
kind of feels
director's
like
cut
they
usually
did
makes
that.
more sense with DC because like
Yeah.
DC's kind of got a lot more creative control it seems over the movies, and it's not like the best because like their movie. Okay, to be fair, I'm not the biggest fan of DC comics anyway. Like I'm more of a Marvel fan, but
Yeah,
I've
it's hard
honestly
to
not been
find
the
a
biggest
diehard.
fan. The only real DC movie that I've liked they put out in the past like decade, well, minus the Dark Knight trilogy, was Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a great movie. I loved that. But like other than that, they've done piss poor job at doing those movies justice. Like, I don't know.
I think it's been like it's just kind of a sign of the times because I remember really liking. I never read the comics and I wasn't really super big into the movies, but I really liked like the animated Justice League when I was younger. Like that was always super cool to me. Or even what was the one like Batman series they did in like 2008?
Oh, Batman the animated series.
Is
I
that
don't
what
think it
it's
was
Oh,
called
called?
Batman.
Batman the Brave and the Bold. Batman the Brave
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
Bold.
yeah, yeah. Where they had like the Blue Beetle or whatever in there
They had like
too.
they had a lot of different characters in that.
Yeah.
That was
So
packed
like
with people.
it wasn't as serious as like the older like Justice League series, but it was still like good. Like I liked it. So I think it's
I
just they've
I'll
just been
give
kind of
it.
slipping recently.
I'll give them that. Like the animated series and like the animated movies have always popped off. Like I'll
Mm.
give them that. But I think it's just like the live action movies have just taken like a toll with the creative control involved in that. Like, look at I almost said Dan Schneider. That's iCarly. I've been watching that lately. Who's the one? Fuck.
Fuck you, Dan Schneider.
Who's the one guy that's making the new like the Justice League movie, like the new cut that's coming out? You know what I'm
It's a
talking
new one.
about? The Justice
Are
League
they
cut.
are they
They're
remaking it or are they?
they're doing like they're it's gonna be a 4 hour long cut of or Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder,
Hmm.
not Dan Snyder, it's Zack Snyder. He's doing like his director's cut, which is gonna be 4 hours long. Because the movie should like that movie was not ready to come out yet. They hadn't set up the universe well enough, so he was trying to pack as much exposition as he could in there. But the studio wanted to cut down the runtime by like an hour and a half, so he had to
Yeah.
scrap so much of his like plan. But now, like later this year, they're gonna release the Zack Snyder cut on HBO Max as like a series, I believe. It's gonna be like TV serialized,
Mm.
which is what they've done with a couple movies before that have had extended cuts. Is they just took it in parts and like made it episodic, but they didn't change anything else about it besides that. So it's
Do you
still
think?
movie format.
Do you think like one 4 hour stretch though is enough to like build up like backstories and characters that people will care about though? Because like,
No.
and just me personally, it took
It
took
took
a
Marvel
while
10
for
years.
me. Yeah.
It took Marvel literally 10 years to
Or even
build
if
up
you
to
want
the
to like
story arc.
compare it to like the serialization, like it, like for me, I didn't really care about like the Mandalorian as a person. Like it was interesting, but I didn't really care about him as a person and his like dreams and goals, until like maybe the seventh one, like the seventh episode. Like, cause like you don't get a whole lot about him until like they did the flashbacks, but you just
Yeah,
don't
and
get
that's
too
like
much about him.
7 hours. Well, not
Almost,
seven, it's
yeah,
like just under 7 hours of material that you've taken in from this guy.
yeah,
And like that, like that's why I kind of like TV shows better. Like I feel like a lot of these things should be serialized because like
Mm.
you can't like it's hard to pack like these huge comic book events into one 3 hour long feature or
Mhm.
one 4 hour long
Yeah.
feature. It has to be like 7 to 12 hours of content, I feel.
yeah.
Because like a lot of time has to go into it to build it up, make it like proper.
Mm.
And like I like what Marvel's doing now with like how they're doing the TV shows and they're connecting them together more intertwined with the movies. Like that's what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing.
Yeah.
So like it makes more sense as well as what they're doing with Star Wars, with all the shows that they're doing with Star Wars. It should be more serialized because they can do more obscure storylines. They can do like I don't know. That's just my opinion on
Well,
it.
at work the other day, I was talking to some of my coworkers about Star Wars, and basically, we all agreed that the best recent Star Wars movie was the one that had new characters. You know, Rogue One.
Rogue One,
Because
yep.
you're
That's
really-
my favorite Star Wars movie actually.
You're really not going to do anything better than to start fresh because, you know, if you're starting with pre-existing characters
How else are you gonna get
that
new
have been around
fans?
forever, it's going to be really hard to make that better because all you're going to be doing is writing them into the ground. Whereas if you restart new characters, it's its own story. You can only write up.
It's also the factor if you can get new fans like that. It's like, oh,
Yeah, that
new
too.
characters that like, because like I feel like I feel like some people view Star Wars as something that you have like it's almost too late to get into because there's so many movies, there's so many TV series, comic books as well
And in a
of
lot
just
ways it
content
is.
about the same characters.
'Cause
It's
I
like
thought
yeah,
I
it's
was really into Star Wars, and then I've met some people now, and it's like I wish I knew what you're talking about, but I just guess I never had the time to really understand all that.
Well, it's also
Yeah,
crazy because of how much stuff that Disney has canonized. It's like if you wanted to get
and
into Star Wars,
uncanonized.
Yeah,
and
so if you wanted to get into Star Wars and like really have like all the story and all the backstory, you would not only need to watch all the movies, you need to read some of the expanded universe stuff. Not all of it. There's even I think they canonized Knights of the Old Republic, which was a freaking PC game. Um,
Yep.
Star Wars
Yep.
Clone Wars, so you would need to watch like a children's animated series, which is really good, by the way. This is not a knock.
Rebels. Rebels is
You
also
need to do
Going
Rebels.
back and watching Avatar again. It's similar.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, Avatar. Okay,
It's
Avatar and Clone Wars
nostalgia.
are very good shows. I say if you rewatched Rebels, it'd be a little bit more kiddie, because Rebels
Yeah.
was already based a little bit more towards kids, whereas Clone Wars was
We
a little
have
bit more
memory.
adulty. Clone Wars was like a little bit like people did.
Clone
die
Wars
on
was a lot
screen in
darker.
Clone Wars.
Clone
People
Wars was
died
a
on
lot
screen in Clone
darker.
Wars,
Yeah.
whereas Rebels, if you look at it, no one ever died on screen in Rebels.
I don't remember Rebels. I only ever watched Clone Wars, I think.
Rebels was
I watched-
okay. I watched it because I felt like I was kind of like I guess really hopeful for the series, and it wasn't bad by any means,
I
but like
personally liked it. It was definitely a kids show, but it also
Mhm.
had some interesting storylines to it. Like when they brought
Mhm.
Ahsoka back, and then she like died, and then she came back in like the fucking time thing. Like that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. And that like brought her back in because Ahsoka's my favorite character in Star Wars. I think.
oh no, she's really
over the
cool.
entire game. Yeah, like she's a great character. So I was kind
But
of
like,
upset when they
but
killed her
like
off in Rebels.
Mace Windu is like really cool.
I just want Mace Windu to say, "It's
His word?
treason, then, motherfucker."
Oh.
Like you gotta hear him say, "It's treason, then, motherfucker." Like that's like the only edit I would ever change from Revenge of the Sith.
It's
By the way,
bullshit
we're
that he
at
died,
an
bro.
hour and 34 minutes.
Oh damn.
I don't believe that Mace Windu's dead. I believe that he's gonna be a somewhat integral part of the Boba Fett series.
Really? Boba Fett's one of my favorite characters too. I always thought Boba Fett was the coolest shit ever. I actually have a Boba Fett shirt.
Well,
if
you remember the Boba Fett storyline with Mace Windu in Clone Wars, right? He has a vendetta against Mace Windu because he killed Jango Fett, his
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that Mace Windu might be the bad guy, the antagonist of the story, if you please. Because
I don't know though.
Jedi can survive falls like that.
But can
He only
they
fell on-
survive having their body shocked? And because like that's what happened to Sidious, right? Is he got like
But he's
Shocked.
also two things. Mace Windu is an extremely powerful Jedi. Second off, they confirmed he's not dead.
they did?
If I'm not mistaken, in a comic book, I believe, or it
Oh.
might have been like an actor who confirmed it that it's canon though.
Ooh.
Canon.
Ooh.
He's not dead.
I
That's
love
what I'm saying,
cannons.
is I believe that he is gonna be an integral part of that show.
I just think it's so cool that they like Samuel L. Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber. So they came up they literally had to come up with a reason, and like they got into like the lightsaber forms and all that stuff, and they had to come up with a reason why his stuff. Mm.
Not just his own lightsaber, but his own form.
Yeah, I know. They came up with a form for it. They came up with like a whole canonical reason. It's crazy.
That was so cool. Mace Windu is a very cool character.
Yeah.
Okay, have you guys ever seen the original Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated thing?
Mm-mm.
Like the old
The one that's like
2000.
really, really, really cartoony? No, I haven't.
That's the one. Yes, the one that's they came. Okay, so before before they made Clone Wars on Cartoon Network,
Mhm.
this came out a few months before Revenge of the Sith, as a filler and to canonize what happened between episodes 2 and 3. And it had a few stories with Anakin. It had a few stories about General Grievous. It showed General Grievous kidnapping Palpatine, that kind of stuff, and it was like 2 or 3 hours long,
Mhm.
like the full series. Like you can find it on YouTube. It's pretty cool. Like I'd recommend watching it probably, but it's not canon anymore. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to mention that as well as like another thing that we could throw in.
Because I have heard it's pretty cool. I do know what you're talking about. So how do we end this?
I was gonna say, what time are we at actually?
We are at an hour and 37 minutes and 18 seconds.
We could probably cut it now, though. Okay, we've been talking a lot about a lot of different.
Or we could just
Unless
do
you
it
guys
right now
want
and it's only like 7 minutes over what it's been the last 3 times.
I
We
wouldn't
could also-
mind going. I feel like there's one night we gotta do like a 2 or 3 hour long. Like we gotta like start it.
As long as we're not starting at 11:30.
Oh, I was thinking like starting at like 6 or 7 and going a few.
Well, like I
That's
guess
what I'm
my ending thoughts is, even though I know some people like to joke about Disney owning everything, they own everything because they're really good at what they do. And I think I'm excited to see what they do next with a lot of these series that I've grown up with, and I'm just excited to see what they do with them.
I very much agree because even though a lot of people have bad opinions of the sequel trilogy, I do personally like them as a way because I've delved into the very deep, like, outer lore of Star Wars. Like, my dad has well over 300 Star Wars books from like the Legends lore, like before like it was like before they eliminated that from canon. So like I've read like a lot of those books, and like there's some wacky stories. Like Palpatine cloned himself, like he did in like the sequel movies as well. But he cloned himself, and Han Solo killed him. Chewbacca dies in the Yuzong Vong invasion. Okay, it's not canon anymore.
I know.
Chewbacca's still alive. Fuck you.
No, do you got?
But anyway, like,
you got any closing statements?
smoke weed every day.
Any final words?
Smoke weed every day.
All right.
A little political, but I agree.
Sorry for the politics.
As for myself, I hope you have a good day. Thank you for watching and listening. Leave a comment, review, subscribe, share, buy, everything. See you later. All right.
Bye.
Baba boy.